At CrossFit Lincoln, our passion is positively impacting and changing lives by creating a strong, brave, healthy community through education. We talk about nutrition, fitness, mindset, and more. From the RoRoFlix studio, I'm Aaron Perkypile with Phil Kniep, Paul Konarski, and Emily Breedy. Welcome to CrossFit Lincoln Connections. I'm Aaron Perkypile. I'm sitting here with Kristina Stuckwisch. Thank you, Kristina, for being here. Kristina is our February 2020 Athlete of the Month. She's a badass. She's a fit human being, and we love having her in the gym. Encouraging, positive, energetic, and just you can throw around a lot of weight. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Welcome, Kristina.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. The pleasure is mine. So let's jump right into it. Tell me a little bit about your background. You know, where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to college, or where have you worked in the past? Just give us a little quick minute into Kristina.
A quick minute?
Or maybe longer. Take your time.
I'm nearly 40. This could take a while.
Okay. It was a cold, dark night.
In June. Okay. Well, I was born in Ohio, actually. So southeast Ohio. And when I was about 3, we moved to the South Pacific. So I grew up on a little island in the South Pacific called Koshrai. So we moved back to the States when I was about 11, between 11 and 12. Is that better?
There you go.
It's so close to me, though. Now I have anxiety.
You moved further back. Right now you're on an island in the South Pacific.
I wish I was on an island in the South Pacific. So that's where I grew up, and then we moved back to the States when I was about 11 or 12. And then in my 20s, I decided to join the Army. So I went into the Army. I was there for 8 years. I met my partner there, and he was from a little town in Nebraska called Tilden. So we came back here and we got married in Tilden. His name is Jeremy, so I will refer to him as such. And then we went back to Germany. We both deployed, so we didn't see each other we saw each other 3 days that year.
Wow.
So that was rough. That was a rough year, especially for newlyweds.
Yeah.
So we came back, and he got out. That was his second stint in the Army. He had been in 3 years, gotten out, come back, and came back in. So then I got transferred to California, and that was my last duty station there. And then I got out in 2011, and we came here, and I had put into the GI Bill early on, so I decided to cash in on that, and I used that and went to college and went to UNL and studied accounting and finance.
Rock on.
Mm-hmm.
Solid.
Yeah, you were an accountant, right?
I am, yeah.
Or are an accountant?
I am a CPA. I don't currently practice, but yeah. Yeah, I am a CPA.
Okay. So I worked for the school for about a year, and then I got a job at the Department of Revenue.
Okay.
So now that's where I still work. I've been there about 5 years. I'm an auditor for the state of Nebraska.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. You enjoy that?
I do.
Yeah.
Actually, it's when I try to describe what I do, it's like it sounds even boring to me, but it's but it's incredibly enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I have great coworkers.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoy getting up and going to work.
Yeah. So for those of you who are listening to the podcast right now, I'm an accountant. Kristina's an accountant. Both of us have been auditors. We might nerd out for the next 20 minutes. If you need to tune back in later, go for it. So do you travel the state and audit, or do you, is it, we're all over the state?
Yes, all over the state. There's been a lot of budget cuts here recently, so we don't travel as much as we used to, but with the way technology is going, we can do a lot more what we call desk audits.
Sure.
So we don't have to travel as much.
Sure.
With technology being the way it is now, people can send records over secure email, and we can just do the whole thing from our office instead of having to travel out to the west side of the state.
What kind of entities do you audit?
So I am part of excise tax, which we audit motor fuels tax and cigarette tax.
Okay.
So
a lot of gas stations then? Or is it not that small?
It can be that small.
Yeah.
So from the largest companies in Nebraska that have 60 retail locations down to a mom and pop shop with one retail location.
Okay.
So we run the gamut.
And how long you been doing that?
A little over 5 years.
Okay. When you are traveling, you see a lot more in Nebraska than a lot of us probably do. What's been one of your favorite trips, like places to see in Nebraska? Where should we send our listeners in Nebraska to go visit if they've got extra time on their hands?
Well, I don't know that I would remember all of the names of the small towns. And I'm still learning. The people that I work with have every city in Nebraska memorized. They know exactly where. Yeah, they know exactly where it's at. But Niobrara up in that area was exceptionally beautiful, I thought.
Okay.
So if you're gonna see anything, I guess go see that.
I hear you can go tube up there, like in the rivers.
Yes, and I really want to do that. I'm trying to get Jeremy and his brother John and some of our friends to go. Actually, I've been trying for last summer, but that never happened.
It's probably not very busy right now.
Probably not.
Early February.
But
be a lot more interesting.
It would be.
So when were you introduced to CrossFit in general?
Excuse me. My last 6 months actually in the Army, we got a new captain, and he was talking to me about CrossFit and said there was a CrossFit gym a couple miles away. So we went together and got a membership. By the time we got around to it, I was only there for another, I think, 6 weeks. So for 6 weeks, I tried out this CrossFit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that had been 2011.
Okay.
So.
And then when you moved to Nebraska, how long until you kind of tried it again?
So actually, I tried it again in 2012, 2013, and I was at CrossFit Lincoln.
Okay.
For not very long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in college at the time, and it was just too much, financially and emotionally. I wasn't ready. And my sister had recently moved in with me, so I had that added stressor and just everything together. It was a long drive at the time from where I lived. So I did it for a little while, and then I was like, okay, I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
So
when you started again more recently, you've been here for about a year. What kind of led you to that? What kind of was the final push to get started again?
Okay, so college kind of packed on the pounds, you would say, and I wasn't as active as I was in the Army at all. So I kind of just, I don't want to call myself lazy, but you just kind of get caught up with everything else, and your health and fitness kind of fall by the wayside.
Sure.
So about 2 years before I joined last year, a friend of mine and I joined Good Life Fitness, and we did they did a summertime special for their boot camps.
Yeah.
So we did their boot camps for 4 months, and then we kind of just stayed there and picked up a powerlifting program.
Sure.
And we were like, let's figure out what this is.
Right.
So we just kind of taught ourselves powerlifting.
Awesome.
And we found some program online, and so we were just trying to do that. And then I was learning how to count macros, and I was trying to figure out how the nutritional piece fit in.
Right.
Because I had just run the gamut of diets my whole life. I think my mom told me I was overweight when I was 13. So that's when I started dieting.
Wow.
I was like, okay. So keto, Atkins, paleo, everyone, gung-ho, I'd try all of them, and then couldn't sustain them for more than, 6 to 12 weeks, and then fall off and gain it all back, and then 10 pounds extra.
Yeah.
So I was finally starting to figure out what worked for me and my body, and what kept me going through the workouts and stuff like that. So I've been counting macros and kind of figuring out my nutrition for the last 3 years now.
Yeah.
So.
And so when you're talking macros, you're talking the protein, fat, carbs. How long did it take for you to kind of bounce around and find, a macro count that feels like it's sustainable, like it doesn't leave you starving, you don't feel bloated, because there's a lot of different things that can come along with changing those up.
Yeah, probably a couple years.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years. And in the meantime, my body composition was changing. I was losing weight. I was gaining muscle, and that had never happened to me before.
Yeah.
Because even in the Army, it's kind of like a skinny fat type thing.
Yeah.
I was a cardio bunny,
Yeah.
essentially. I could run forever, but I had no muscle mass.
Yeah.
Like I could knock out the push-ups I needed, and that's it. I could carry around the stuff I needed.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So no excess strength.
Yeah. What was your role? What was your MOS in the military?
I was chemical
Yeah.
operations.
Cool.
Never really did much with it though.
Really?
It was a big deal going in. Like everyone was like, "Oh, chemical. We need chemical people." And then once I went through and finished AIT and got sent to my new duty station, they were like, "No, we need everything but that now," which was good for me actually,
Yeah.
because I got put into a lot of situations and positions that I don't think I would have otherwise.
Yeah.
So it was good for me for promotions.
Okay.
Too,
Sure.
because like my very first duty station, there was this huge thing that they were like, "Oh, we need people. We need to send them to this class." And they were like, "Okay, who's new?" And my name was Leafly at the time. Leafly, we're gonna send her a little PFC.
Yeah.
So I show up and it's nothing but officers, and I'm like, "Oh, I think this was more important than they think it is." So I ended up being in charge of the entire deployment.
Wow.
Like every piece of equipment
That's
for the entire
crazy.
company. So I got promoted pretty fast.
As a PFC, you were?
I did that as a PFC. So then I picked up specialist very quickly and then sergeant very quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been, as I think as any little boy or a lot of little boys grow up kind of enamored with the military at some part in their career or in their lifetime, I guess I should say. And would you encourage others to hop in and give that a shot?
In the current political climate?
You're going to be busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a highly individual choice.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't push anyone one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the answer I
taught
was
me a
looking
lot.
for. You read my mind.
I'm accountant and mind reader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a lot of different roles. So your husband, Jeremy, he's not a CrossFitter. I haven't seen him yet.
No.
What's it going to take? This one's for you, Jeremy, because
an act
Kristina
of
said you're going to
Congress.
listen.
He's not interested.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. He calls CrossFit shake weight dancing.
Whoa.
That's what he thinks I do.
That's
Whenever
exactly what we do.
When
He
I come
nailed
back,
it.
he does, yeah. I come back and I'm like sweaty and exhausted. I'm like, "Oh, that was crazy." He goes, "Oh, were the shake weights extra heavy today?"
Yeah, I leveled up to the 5-pound shake weights.
Yeah, so he's not interested, but
That's all right. Does he count macros too?
no,
Does he?
no,
No.
no. He and his family are very tall and skinny.
Yeah.
And they can eat whatever they want, whenever they want, and it doesn't affect them at
great.
all.
It's pretty great. Not gonna
So
lie.
me counting macros and weighing my food, and he just is completely, was when I started, it was completely foreign. Now he's used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're not at the gym, working out and lifting and stuff like that, what kind of hobbies do you have?
Well, I try to learn Spanish. That's what I do on some of my downtimes. I read, not as much as I'd like to. But really, outside of working out and food, like I really don't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that sound super lame?
No, it sounds like a lot of the people at CrossFit
This
Lincoln.
woman has no time for anything but food and working out.
So you read. What kind of books do you like to read?
Well, my favorite author is Stephen King.
Okay.
I like Stephen King. Not so much the latest stuff he's come out with, but
Yeah.
old Stephen King.
Okay. Are you a podcast listener?
No, not historically.
Okay.
Jeremy loves podcasts. He's
Yeah.
always got his headphones on. He's always listening to a podcast, but I get distracted very easily. So if I'm doing other things and listening, I won't.
Half of it goes by and you're not
Yep.
sure what you missed.
And
Sure.
I have to sit down and really think about it and possibly take notes
Yeah.
while I'm doing it. So I've listened to a few, like Bin Radio, the nutrition,
Yeah.
Black Iron Nutrition.
Sure.
I've listened to a few of those. Actually, from watching this podcast, I heard about the is it Chasing Excellence? Every single person said they listened to that.
Yep.
So I actually listened to the one single episode of that, and I thought that was pretty good. There was a lot of good information on it. But as far as one as I follow or listen to regularly, no.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you could do away with or like scratch out, I'd never have to do this movement again in a workout. What movement would that be?
Anything, honestly, hollow body.
Oh,
Like on not so much like hanging hollow body, just like laying.
the holds or the rocks.
Holds. Those kill me.
Yeah.
For some reason they hurt.
Yeah.
I dislike them greatly.
Are you like me where you just kind of shake or shiver the whole time? So you know it's working.
Yeah, you know it's working. It's just like, I don't know, it bothers my lower back.
Sure.
So I don't particularly enjoy it.
You had a powerlifting kind of background because of what you had done at Good Life before you came to CrossFit Lincoln. How have you seen that that's been helpful? Has it been beneficial for you? And has there been anything along with that that's maybe not, it's been harder to kind of move beyond, or like bad habits or anything that you picked up doing that?
Well, any bad habits that I learned, I did myself because we kind of taught ourselves. Right. So aside from gym bros, approaching us saying, do it this way, we didn't really have a clue. We just watch YouTube videos and then try and do it. But at least I had some idea of how to do like the lifting parts. Excuse me. So like the benching and the deadlifting and the squatting, like I was pretty comfortable with those. But the snatching, anything overhead, the Olympic lifting was just, oh my goodness.
So I'm curious because you kind of said that you were a cardio bunny. You could have run people into the ground, but you didn't have strength. What kind of led to that transition from being a cardio only specific to getting comfortable, or even saying, hey, you know what, I want to try doing more with a barbell, doing more? Because I think there are plenty of people out there that think of CrossFit and they're like, holy cow, that's a barbell. I don't know. Those are pretty scary. And it can be really intimidating at first.
So I saw my first woman in person with muscles and I was amazed.
Yeah.
I was like, she looks amazing. She's lifting all these super heavy things. And that just floored me because up to that point, it's kind of maybe in the way I was raised or grew up, like, women don't have muscles. Women, that's what you have your brothers for. They carry your stuff for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was kind of in the back of my mind. I was like, okay, well, I don't really need muscles. I just need to be thin and slim and lean, you know? And then once I started seeing these women with muscles, I'm like, well, that's just phenomenal. 'Cause I'm a very independent person.
Yeah.
And I like the independence aspect of that, of just being able to do things yourself. And then another piece of that was I'm not 60 or 70, but I'm like, I was getting up there in years, I'm getting closer to 40.
Right.
And I'm going to need to do things for myself for the next, 30, 40 years. So, and I didn't feel that I was healthy or strong, in a place where I was confident that I could be that for myself, in the next 30, 40 years. So we started looking at, our first thing we did was a 5x5 program from some, guy online. So we started doing that. And then we saw a girl powerlifting and we researched that and decided that's what we wanted to do. So we started powerlifting and we were surprised with how quickly we got stronger. Right. So that was exciting. So we got all excited about that. And then Instagram, I joined the Instagram family and started seeing,
for better or worse,
and started following female powerlifters. Well, then there's a little bit of overlap into Olympic lifting, and there's a little bit of overlap into CrossFit.
Right.
So I was just seeing more and more and more of these exceptionally strong women, and my perception completely changed. Like, oh, I don't want to, what do I need to be skinny for? What do I need to look lean for? I have no reason for it. That's just in my head. Like, oh, you have to look this way. Right.
Right.
And I already told you a history of yo-yo dieting. So it's like, okay, so it all just kind of started falling into place. And then Good Life Fitness is pretty much right across the street from CrossFit Lincoln. So I was like, well, it's right there. Let's just do it. Let's just go over there and try it.
Yeah.
So
did your friend come with you?
No.
What's her name?
Her name is Sarana.
It's time.
Well, actually, she and her husband got pregnant, so
Okay.
she took
Her
some
husband's
time
pregnant
off.
too?
He was, not anymore.
It's impressive. Both being pregnant at the same
Is that
time
not
must
the
be
proper
challenging.
way to say it?
I
Is
don't-
it just, they're pregnant. They're a pregnant couple. Yeah, it sounds weird. She was pregnant. He
Yeah.
was not. No.
He was supportive.
Yeah, he was supportive.
He was there at some point.
Yes.
There's no good way to say that.
No, I don't know why I said it that way. It sounded right in
Everybody
my head.
says it that way.
Do they?
I think
Okay.
yeah, we're pregnant.
We're
Just kind
pregnant,
of
yeah.
No, only one of you is.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway, she became pregnant.
Okay.
And she worked out almost until actually she gave birth. And then when she went away to do that, when she went off to do that, I went over to CrossFit Lincoln and started
So
that.
it's been over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time, Serena. It's time.
Well, actually,
Are they pregnant again?
she's probably going to watch this and go, uh-oh, we need another child.
Yeah.
We went to a free Saturday
Sure.
together, and she brought one of her friends. And
Okay.
after that, she was like, never again. I'll never do that again.
Sure you will. There's still free Saturdays. Everybody out there, you gotta come on Saturday at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's free. Come try it out.
It's a fun class.
Yeah.
The Saturday class is a fun one.
And they can be even bigger than our normal classes, which is kind of fun. You normally get partnered up with somebody, maybe even larger team, 3 or 4.
Yep, 3 or 4.
So you're not working out by yourself. You don't have to be intimidated. It's meant to be a class for people that haven't been to CrossFit Lincoln or can only come on Saturdays, something like that.
And speaking of that intimidation factor, that was a big thing for me coming in, like the RX, and just looking at that going, there is just no way. Like, those are such huge numbers. You
Right.
know, the volume is,
Sure.
distracting.
Sure.
Like, there's no way. But, like, all the coaches are great. I got to say that. And just every single one of them, just at one point or another, you included. I've only been to a couple of your classes, but even then you had good things to tell me just about scaling.
Sure.
And that just, wow. Scaling is amazing. It makes me feel really good to complete a workout, even though, you scaled it down to your level, but it's amazing how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hard is it when you scale to feel like, because you said, I feel really good to be able to complete the workout. I scaled it. I think for some, it can be hard, and some days are different than others, to feel like you get to count it, right? The language that we use to describe, well, I did my workout my way, or, I scaled it. Well, that doesn't matter. How hard is it to not discount your effort when you scale a workout?
Well, I think when I first started, like, I was disappointed in myself. I was like, oh man, you're not anywhere close to RXing this workout. And now, I don't know, my enjoyment level's so high on all these workouts anyway, so that kind of fell by the wayside.
Sure.
But even when I put it in Wodify, I was like, I did the best I could, and I took myself all the way to the limit. Like, I couldn't have given any more.
Yeah.
And that makes me proud, and that makes me, I don't even worry about what RX was on the board.
Yeah.
'Cause to me, that was RX for me.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
I don't mind it at all.
I would say that's the mindset that as coaches, we want everybody to take when they go into a workout. You
Right.
give everything where you're at, and whatever the stimulus is, you try to meet that where it's at. With the weight doesn't matter, the movements really don't matter in many respects. When you're modifying movements to substitute something, or when you're scaling that movement or that weight or something like that. What's more important is you're meeting the stimulus appropriately.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the longer ones, like 30, 40-minute ones.
You're going to love today.
I'm looking forward to today,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, I read up on Lieutenant Omar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited about this one. Just the longer ones is just, I don't know. There's something about, like, okay, this is going to be a long one. It's going to take, over 20 minutes. So you just do it. Like, just chip away at it one at a time. And then the sense of accomplishment when you're done, whether you scaled it or RX'd it, whatever.
Right.
It's just, the endorphins are at an all-time high.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I love those longer workouts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you have friends from the military that are into CrossFit that you keep in touch with?
Actually, when I left Germany, I think CrossFit started in 98, Is that when it became a
Yeah.
thing? So 2008, I left Germany, and this little group of people from my battalion were starting this new thing. They were doing like a little side thing called CrossFit. They were doing CrossFit workouts. They were doing WODs.
Yeah.
And I never even looked into it because they were jumping all over the place doing crazy stuff. I'm like, no, I'm going to get on my treadmill,
Yeah.
So I never even messed with it then, but that's the first time I ever heard of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Crazy. How long were you in Germany?
3 years.
Is there good food over there? I've never been to Germany.
German food is excellent.
Yeah. What's your favorite German food? Beer.
No, I'm not really a big beer person, which is unfortunate because German beer is supposedly amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the schnitzel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Did you get to then kind of tour around Europe while you were over there on leave or anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of 4-day weekends. Jeremy and I would just take off, and it's all in the EU, so you don't have to like show a passport.
Right.
And they all use the same money,
Right.
all the euros, so it was very easy to travel.
Where were some of your favorite places to visit?
Where did we go? Spain. I love Spain because I love water, so we were on the water in Spain, so I loved it. Tried some octopus. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Were you in Ibiza?
No. I actually don't remember the name of the town we were at. We missed our bus. We were supposed to take a bus to Barcelona, but we missed it. Hungover. So we just stayed on the beach.
Yeah. Well, we're good here. Any place you wouldn't go back and visit in Europe?
No. Nothing struck me as particularly negative or bad, and every place we went seemed nice. The people were nice, and yeah, it was beautiful.
What was it like growing up in the South Pacific on an island?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
No wonder you love the beach. Like that's.
Oh, I miss the beach so much. Yeah.
How long were you there?
So we went over there when I was 3. We left when I was 11, almost 12.
Okay.
So my formative years.
Yeah. Was it a hard
racing around on the
transition?
beach. Yes, it was, because we went from there to southeastern Ohio. So that was
Rough.
awkward. Yeah. So we went from, running around the beach with our tans and swimming in the ocean whenever we wanted to, racing our friends up and down the beaches and roads and whatever. And then all of a sudden we're in southeastern Ohio and we're introduced to the Western diet.
Oh man.
So we discovered pizza.
Yeah.
And cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And McDonald's. And yeah, all of us kids just kind of exploded. So.
And then your mom stepped up and made sure that you knew.
Yes. Just so you know, you are fat.
So how did that then kind of inform your health and fitness moving forward?
Well, I think that just started, not a lifetime of, but the next, 20 years, we're just yo-yo dieting. So, yeah. And it was, early 90s. So it's not like I had the internet or my smartphone and I could look things up and see what's going on and what's true and what's not.
The internet hasn't always been here?
Apparently not.
My 11-year-old doesn't know that. But.
It's so weird to think about kids growing up with all that access and information like that. I don't know if that would have been a good thing or bad thing when I was a teenager. So just be thankful for the small things, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to a private high school, actually.
Okay.
In southeastern Ohio,
Okay.
Zanesville.
What is it?
Zanesville, Ohio.
Okay.
It was a Christian school, Zanesville Christian School.
Okay. Did you play sports that play sports there?
They tried to make me play sports there.
So you're saying that you weren't necessarily athletic?
Oh, no. There was nothing athletic about me. Nope. I was athletic when I was younger, running around the beaches.
Right.
But yeah, I got back here and gained a bunch of weight, and they tried to teach me to hit a volleyball.
Would you
play
consider
basketball.
yourself athletic now?
Yes, actually. Weirdly.
When did that kind of mindset shift?
I think when I started powerlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, I wouldn't consider, like when I think of an athlete, I think of someone that runs around a lot.
Right.
But then seeing all these women powerlifting and just seeing that term athlete out there all the time. It's like, well, that's true. These women are insanely strong. You know, I would call that an athlete. And then starting at CrossFit Lincoln, you know, everyone's an athlete, and I love that mindset.
Yeah.
I think it's very positive. I think it instills a very positive vibe in people.
Yeah.
At least for me. So, yeah, especially athlete of the month. I was like, oh my goodness.
It's real.
I have arrived.
They really mean it.
Where's my star on the sidewalk?
We could get you a star.
Thank you.
And
I
put
would
it.
appreciate
You
that.
want it on the sidewalk?
I would like
Or
it
do you
on
want
the
it to
sidewalk.
like wear on a like on the epaulet, like up here on the shoulders?
Yeah.
A badge? That seems wrong. Maybe the floor is
figure it
best,
out.
or a wall. Maybe wall means like you're dead though, so we don't want to do that.
No.
It'll have to be the sidewalk. That's
Yeah.
probably best.
Handprints and
Ooh, even better.
Yeah.
Even better. We can have a ceremony and uncover it and everything.
I like it.
What do you wish? Because you did your Athlete of the Month video. You said you wished you would have said things in there.
Oh my God.
What do you wish you would have said in your Athlete of the Month video? It's only 40 seconds long, so I mean, it's not like you can say
it
a whole
is?
lot of stuff in it.
See,
Yeah, it's always under a minute.
Unfair. I have not seen it yet. I can't believe I didn't get like last.
A sign off on it?
Yeah, I didn't get the sign off on it.
You're also not going to get a sign off on this one.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, so I was telling you, it was just absolutely horrifying time to put that camera in my face, and I just completely went blank.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about being strong and how it's so beneficial and all this kind of stuff. And then lights came on, and I just went completely blank. My thumb started bleeding.
Yeah.
I forgot my name.
Yeah.
And I fell over my own barbell.
It happens.
Story of my life. But yeah, I should have said something like, you know, not to leave men out of the picture, but I think women have a particularly tough time when it comes to being strong, and like kind of the public perception of that has a tendency to be negative, I think. So I like this community that we have in CrossFit where it's like you celebrate strength, you know, and it's just such an empowering thing. And my confidence level from last year, you know, from just a year ago starting, is so much different.
Yeah.
I have so much more confidence just not just in the gym, but like in every aspect of my life, you know, talking to a taxpayer and just having more confidence talking to that taxpayer, you know.
Sure.
I'm taking up more space and I don't care, you
Yeah.
know. I'm strong and I'm probably stronger than you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
not to get a big head about it, but it just changes your whole concept
Yeah.
of things. So
The things you can do versus what you didn't think you were capable or even allowed, so to speak, to
yeah.
do.
And now even things that you can't do are things you could possibly do. You just have to work on it. So, and I've got a lot of things that are on my list of things to work on.
Yeah.
But like I said, almost every coach in there has given me a piece of amazing advice that I'm working on. Like Phil's got me working on toes to bar. I love toes to bar.
Yeah.
Those are really fun.
Yeah.
And I just need to do them correctly. So working on getting upside down and being comfortable.
Yeah.
Being upside down because I'm not
Yeah.
yet.
Me either.
So I'm taking the barbell class.
Awesome.
So Austin is an amazing coach.
Yeah.
And Dawson.
Yeah.
And Dawson's pretty good too. But yeah, just learning those to get comfortable with those Olympic lifts and getting stronger. And the program we're doing now are all these like 20 rep max and stuff like that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
When I first read it, I was like, oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
That's nasty looking. I
Yeah.
don't know about this. And now I just adore it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And then 4 weeks later, you try again and you're like, how did I add 5 to 10 pounds? That's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. What movement would you do every day if you could?
Okay. I love burpee toes to bar.
Crickets. That I paused for everybody else. It's like pulled their car over listening to the podcast. Like, nope. Burpee toaster bar, really?
I don't know what or burpee pull-ups.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about that movement, but it's fun. It's like getting on a roller coaster ride. I'm like, wee, I'm down on the ground. Wee, I'm up in the air.
I think that maybe we're going to encourage everybody to try that the next time in their mind. Imagine they're on a roller coaster instead of doing burpee toes to bar or burpee pull-ups. It's good. I mean, that's what you do when things suck. I liked in your video you said, you know, in the Army you just embrace the suck, and that's just a way of kind of changing how you speak to yourself in your mind. I'm going to embrace this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a roller coaster right now. I'm
Yeah.
not doing something that sucks. I'm on a roller coaster.
Yeah, this is totally fun. You are having fun.
Yeah.
Continue to have fun.
Yeah. And you're going to like it.
Yeah, you really, that's what you kind of got to tell yourself, though. Just put your head down and do the hard work, and you come out on the other side, and you're always better for it.
Yeah.
So,
What do you wish that you would have known about CrossFit before you started?
I wish I would have known that it was okay to scale. Like, I wish I had had that. We kind of talked about it already, but I wish I'd had that notion in my head already. Like, you don't need to. Can I say balls to the wall? Is that
Sure.
a rude comment? Okay. I wish I would have known that, I don't have to do that. You don't have to go balls to the wall. You can pace yourself and get it all done. So I think I blew myself out a couple of times, just
Sure.
like trying to do too much at once.
Right.
And when I started coming, I was only doing like 2 days a week, and then slowly worked that up to 4 and then 5.
Yeah.
So once I got there, I was like, okay, I can't do that 5 days a week. Like, I need to start pacing myself and figuring out what are the right weights and movements for me. And,
Right.
and the coach is always, whoever's the coach is always like, I'm like, hey, this is what I can do. What should I do for this workout?
Right.
And you guys always have something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Burpee toast to bar.
burpee toasted bar is always the answer,
Yeah.
because we usually do that when there's muscle ups.
Yeah.
So I see muscle ups, I'm like,
I don't need no stupid muscle ups. I'm going to do burpee toast to bar.
oh, so exciting.
Well, today there's bar facing burpees. You can do burpee toast to bar there too. I give you permission if you want to do them instead.
Well, thank you.
What have you done? You talked about, scaling and that sort of thing. Have you done a workout RX?
Very few, actually. Well, maybe 3 or 4,
Yeah.
like the whole year.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's certain things that I should be able to do by now that I'm not, like double unders. I feel like I should be able to do those by now.
Yeah.
But I never, ever remember to bring my jump rope.
Right.
I actually went out and bought one. So that's step 1.
Yeah.
And practice, step 2, which I haven't got to step 2.
Step 1, that's all right.
Step 1 is as far as I've gotten.
Yeah.
So it's a thing that I need to work on. I have this idea of for every month, just picking one thing to work on, so I stop being so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like January, okay, you're working on toes to bar. February, the whole month, like your extra work is working on like double unders.
Sure.
Instead of like, okay, this month I'm working on double unders and this and this and this. You know what I mean? So
That's a great mentality.
yeah.
Pick
so
one thing.
I have a notebook.
Yeah.
Do you love notebooks?
I love notebooks.
I love notebooks.
Love them.
And pens. And they smell so good.
Yeah.
Like you open up the notebook, it just smells new.
My wife gives me grief because I have so many. I'm like, hey, I bought another Moleskine notebook. She's like, oh, good.
Moleskine,
Yeah.
great.
You can write it on 3 pages and buy a new one.
I just bought one the other
Not
day
true,
and it's
but-
got stickers.
Oh.
I know.
Oh,
So
well.
like, yeah. So I had a good time for at least 2 hours putting stickers in my notebook, writing my notes.
Yeah.
But it's a good way for me to keep track of everything because, like I told you earlier, I started swimming.
Yeah.
So I have my workout days, my barbell class, my swimming, the days that I want to do the WODs and where I can fit those in.
How do you, where do you find your swimming workouts?
Okay, so actually I don't have any, and I haven't gone swimming. I haven't swam.
Swam?
Yeah, I haven't
Swimming?
I haven't been swimming in like 2 decades.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
So just starting.
So I just started in January, like halfway through January. I went to Madonna Proactive,
Yeah.
and they have a lap pool,
Okay.
or is that what they call them?
Yep.
Yeah, lap pool. So I started swimming laps, like kind of relearning the movements. And then Zach
Yeah.
Anderson is a awesome swimmer, from
Yeah.
what I hear. So I started following his swim
Chlorine and kilos.
Yep,
Yeah.
on Instagram. And then I reached out to him and asked him if he would coach me for a couple of like, just watch me and
Yeah.
make sure I'm doing this right and efficiently, which I'm not doing this right. Like I watch videos of people actually swimming and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not exactly dog
Yeah.
paddling, but it's not great either. So, I mean, at
It's
least I'm
a survival
moving.
swim.
Yeah,
You're not ready to swim the English Channel or to Cuba or anything anytime soon.
No, but I want to participate in the Tri-Fit games.
Yeah.
So I want to be the swimmer.
Cool.
So I just got to get better,
Yeah.
stronger, more efficient.
Faster.
So he's gonna help me with that.
Awesome.
Yep.
What kind of spurred you to be like, hey, I do want to swim more? Was that just like the next thing?
I think so. I can't remember anything specific. Maybe it was I was talking to a friend of mine about doing the Tri-Fit games, and he's a fast runner.
Yeah.
I was like, you can be the runner. And then actually I was talking to Abby about she was going to be the bike. I was like, well, that leaves the swimming. And I at least have some history of it.
I've been in the water before.
I have been in the water.
Back when I was 10.
Have not drowned. Historically, I'm good at swimming.
Open water swimming even.
Yeah. So, I just decided I held that off until January because I had other things I was working on. And then, halfway through January, I started swimming again.
Cool. Mm-hmm. What's the next thing on your list? You said you had a list of things to work on in order. What's the next thing on your list?
Actually, I said I had a new notebook, and it smelled amazing, like new notebooks do. And I needed to start choosing one thing to work on every month.
Okay.
So Phil had me working on like toes to the bar and just kicking up on the wall. Mm-hmm. And so I just went gung-ho on that stuff and kind of tweaked my shoulder.
Ooh,
so I was like, okay, back off. Because I was also working on pull-ups.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of shoulder-centric.
Shoulder intention, yeah.
Shoulder-centric exercises. So I kind of tweaked it a little bit. So I had to back off on that. So I was like, maybe I should just pick one and work on one in January, one in February. So, yeah. So my pull-ups are a big thing that I'd like to work on. I can do 3, and that was just amazing to me that I could get that many. So I'm
those
working
strict
on
or are those kipping?
Strict.
Yeah.
I'm not real great at kipping
That's
yet.
all right.
So
strict strength is more important.
Yeah. So I'm
especially
working on
to start.
Yep. Yeah. So strict pull-ups, toes to bar, and kicking up. Starting to work on that progression into handstand push-ups.
Yeah.
So.
How do you think your military career would have been different if you had started CrossFit earlier in life? Would it have been different?
Well, yeah, probably. Like CrossFit seems to instill this thing in your mind where you feel like you can do anything. Mm-hmm. It's like no matter how crappy it gets, you're like, all right, just one more thing to chip away at. Mm-hmm. Which I already had that mindset in the Army. Like things got pretty crappy, but it was always like you just put your head down and you just go until the day's over. You know, you just chip away at it 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time until you get to go to sleep, and then you get up and you do it again. Sure. And a year passes. You're like, oh. It's strangely how that works, though. Yeah. But I would have been stronger, and I would have been more confident, I think, and more assertive. Mm-hmm. So, and you know, those are things that come with age anyway. Yeah. Like you kind of grow into that. But I think if I'd been doing CrossFit back, in 2008 when I first heard about it, I think it'd have been a lot more beneficial. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Cool. Is there anything that you want to share with with the folks out there before we wrap this up?
About what? Anything in particular?
Just anything at all. Like, you want to give advice? Do you want to tell them, don't do this thing, do that thing? This is your opportunity to speak into the ears of those listening.
No, not really. Nothing really comes to mind. Just don't quit. Yeah. Like even when you think you want to, just come talk to me and I'll talk you back into it.
Yeah. What about if they've quit before they've even started? How do we talk them into it?
Oh, I don't know. That's a difficult mindset to get through. I don't know. I'd say just be as encouraging as possible. Like you can't convince someone to do something when they really don't want to.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
Yeah. Having been that person on the other side, like there's nothing you can say that's going to convince me. So,
are you at workouts most Saturdays? Most Saturday mornings?
No.
Mm-mm.
I've been swimming on Saturdays.
I was going to try to tell people to come work out with Athlete of the Month, Kristina.
Usually 5 p.m. is the class that I go to.
Okay.
So,
come try a free class at 5 p.m. with Kristina. That'd be fun.
Is it a free class?
We can make it for that day.
Oh, cool. I am a celebrity.
You are a celebrity. You just gave everybody a free trial class.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Again, we're excited and proud of the work that you continue to put in every day, and love to have you in our community and in class and leading the way. So thanks so much.
Yeah, I love being here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for joining us on CrossFit Lincoln Connections. We'll catch you on the next one. See you soon. Bye.